My name is Jalen Kale. You can check out my newest album, Back to the Basics, on all streaming platforms, wherever you enjoy getting your music at. But uh, new music videos will also be accompanying this album, so keep your eye out over on my YouTube channel. Make sure you go subscribe. All 12 songs will have a music video eventually, so if you see this before all of them are out, be sure to stay tuned for more.
I'm Theo Kale. I make short films and movies. You can check my stuff out at Glasshouse Films 8 on YouTube. And if you want to get in contact with me about potentially being in any films or anything, the link to my Instagram and everything should be in the comments below of whatever video you're watching of ours. So, yeah, that's really it.
Welcome back to the Two Tone Podcast, episode number 66, Double Sixes. My name is Jalen Kale. Alongside me, as always,
TTK.
how's it
Or
going
Theo
this
Kale.
week? How's it going, kid?
It's going okay.
So, he's over here playing with the cat for everybody watching.
So what happens when you get to episode 666?
Whoa, it'll be like a whole, like, demonic episode. We do, like, full makeup and we have horns and shit.
Just
If
one
we
of
get
us
to
is floating
episode-
on the chair.
Right. We just figure out how to do, like, mirrors and shit to make it look like we're floating on top. That'd be fried. But if we make it to 666 episodes, that's a long periodically time. I'm trying to see, okay, so if we did an episode a week, that would take 12 years. Almost 13 years.
I think we'll be alive for 13 more years.
Oh no, since we already got 66 under the belt, it'd only be 600. So 600 divided by 52, 11 and a half years. So in 11 and a half years on episode 666, hopefully our budget for makeup has increased from 0 to something. So
0 to 111 and a half years.
yeah, I'm about to say the beat don't really quite the beat don't really quite go up there. But as you can see, we got a new fancy ring light, and we got some gaming content going in the background. If you like what you're seeing, or are interested in watching the gaming content, there's a little link to it right there. Bing. But yeah, I've been doing a little bit more of the gaming content. I wanted to, take a step back from making it weekly and just release it. I'm thinking bi-weekly or once a month or something like that. But I'm honestly not sure about the schedule of it. But anyways, new gaming videos going up on the regular.
When is the R6 one coming out? Or has it already come out?
I think
we
that one's gonna be in the vault for a little bit. I have one video of me and Sam playing Nickelodeon Racers, and all right, that's the one I'm editing right now. So our R6 game will be after that video.
Okay.
The Nickelodeon one should be pretty simple. The game really wasn't. It was all right, but
So
it was your pretty standard toon racer game.
So you're just recording them and then keeping them and then releasing them whenever?
Well, I'm trying to take more time in between each release to like do better edits. Excuse me, to do better edits in the for like the videos themselves. Make them a little bit more entertaining. I feel like I was rushing editing videos just to get them out on every Thursday, alongside with the podcast.
I think that's a better idea, is to like have the podcast out on a certain day, but then like with gaming and whatever else, just whenever.
Right, just be a little bit more of a side project.
Yeah.
I'll say the podcast really just keeps, finding new shit, new creative ideas for each of us. And, eventually when we're famous one day, we can look back on this and be like, damn, you remember episode fucking 72 when we were like, blah, 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 blah,
He is not happy with me right now.
Yeah, it's because he's trying to sleep and you fucking with him.
His mouth.
Yeah, he's finna bite your ass. All right. Anyways, we got a film. We got we got a couple of films, and we got an album. So, oh, you said you had another question you were gonna say for the podcast before we started. You remember what it was? You were asking me about if I had a dream studio setup.
Oh, would you have you ever thought about like, well, you do it now, but like making music for films? Like not an orchestra or anything like that, but just like a beat or whatever have you.
Right. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna say I pretty much do that already. I feel like that's kind of the vibe I'm leaning towards. Like if I was to do something musically professionally, it probably wouldn't be performance. It would probably be, behind the scenes kind of video game music, scores, commercial work, shit like that. But
You ever thought about just like being the? Because I know like being a producer in music is different than being a producer in film. Like in
right,
music,
producer of music, yeah, you just make the beats and shit,
Yeah.
the backing track.
So would that be more of like what you do than what you're doing now, like stand up concerts and shit?
I mean, right now I feel like I'm kind of contradicting what I'm saying, my actions versus what I say, but right now I'm performing more than I'm producing, but I feel like in between albums I definitely get into more of a producer mode. I definitely enjoy like the minutia of being like, oh shit, we need to turn the high end of this snare down just a little bit so it stops peaking, or the fucking wobble on this bass is 2 cents off, and I'm like, nobody's actually gonna notice it, but I notice
Yeah.
it. I definitely enjoy that kind of shit more than uh the whole process of performing, but I feel like that's only because the process of performing includes finding places to perform and, getting your foot in the door with random ass people that don't even know you.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I really do enjoy performing, so yeah.
Um, but like instead of being a composer or anything like that, like say somebody asks, or say somebody asks you to like do score for a film or something, would you? I feel like you could still do it because like there's a there's like different things that you can do to where you can like make your own uh orchestra type of sound.
Yeah. Honestly, I definitely know enough about music composition to where I could like make a whole score for something and it would be cohesive to the story.
Yeah.
But is that something that I would want to do opposed to performing? No, not necessarily. Is that something that I would do to supplement the bills in the meantime? Yeah, like I would totally, just do scores and video game type shit just to fund the possibility of like building a tour and going on, a performing tour.
Because I know that like um you've said in the past to me at least that you don't really like want to do orchestral type of music because it's like so much like you have to write down every note for every person type shit.
Well, yeah,
In the
but like when you're
orchestra.
writing for an orchestra, it's kind of different than just because most of the time nowadays you can do a lot of stuff like within a program. You find a sample of a fucking violin that you like, and you just play it on the keys, and it comes out sounding like a violin. You don't have to have like a whole orchestra there.
Yeah.
But
Have
but
you
I
ever
want to be one of those motherfuckers that's like at the with the insert the clip of Bugs Bunny at the fucking orchestra with the tails, and he's like, doing the whole shit. Would I wouldn't be one of those motherfuckers?
Yeah.
No, not at all.
I was gonna say something.
Story of my life.
Oh, is there like a like in film editing for like indie films, Premiere is the go-to,
Uh-huh.
and it's like it's not really like the industry standard. There's another one that's the industry standard, but
Right.
Premiere
But it's like the most common one that's used among
among indie filmmakers.
Right.
But is there anything like any music type of programs that are like that?
Yeah, so like in music they're called DAWs. DAWs. It's a digital audio workstation. There's Ableton, which is pretty popular. There's FL Studios, which I would say is like the most well-known one. It's a lot of like hip hop producers use FL Studios. A lot of newer guys get into FL Studios. There's also, excuse me, bless you. There's also Garage Band. What I use. I feel like that's pretty. It's very entry level, but if you really want to dive into all the minutia of it, you can get it on like the iPad or even the Mac, and they have different, built-in stuff that you can use. Like if you have a MacBook, then there's like all sorts of different plugins and shit that you can download compared to like just on your phone. But I would probably say FL Studios or Ableton is like your. This is what most people are going to be using. I personally, if I had a computer that could run it, would use Ableton, but alas, I do not.
I know what FL Studios is, but I don't know what Ableton really is. But like I've watched videos of like behind the scenes of how like a song was made or whatever. They always got like some type of DAWs up, and it's just like they're working on the song and shit, and it's just really.
Let me see if
weird.
I can pull up Ableton.
Yeah, that's the one.
Type shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of people. This picture is like all the different tracks. So this is like where you would mix all of the songs. Like you want this one part to start and then stop and then happen again. But you can go like within the whole within each track and actually formulate what the track sounds like. It's all sorts of fuck shit you get into with that fucking program. I used it like twice. I got a little the beat pad. It's like a little 4x4
over here scratching so hard.
He be itching.
He like scratched the back of his head and fucking like kicking so hard that his head was like going like this. And I was like, bruh, god damn.
You see that video Sam sent you the other night? When he was in the hallway fucking yowling. I don't remember if Sam actually sent it to you or not.
I don't think she did.
Let me see if I can't find it there. I know this is fucking amazing podcast material, but.
Okay. I recognize that voice. It's been a while. 9 years.
Oh yeah, she did.
I have to put it in the podcast, but
he like looked back and she was like,
yeah, he got caught fucking do a biscuit. He fucking so every night without fail, whenever both of us are in the bedroom and like in bed, he'll grab a couple of squishmallows and just fucking do biscuits on one while holding one in his mouth, just just fucking yowling into the night. I'm like, dog, what are you doing? He is such a fucking goofball. But anyways, enough about life, enough about Dawes and Premiere and whatnot. What do you want to hop into first, the film or the album of the week, T?
The album.
Okay, so the album of the week is by a little unknown artist that I found the other day called Tyler the Creator, right? And
Yeah.
this album is from 2019. It's his album Flower Boy. So there's a lot to say about Flower Boy. But before we get into that, what's your opinions on Flower Boy? You enjoy his more melodic stuff, or you
Probably would be one of my favorite albums
of all time, or of
Of his.
Tyler's?
of
Okay.
his so far.
Okay. Okay.
Well, it's between Flower Boy and Chromacopia.
Interesting.
There's a song that's on the album that I wanted to share.
Was it Pothole?
No.
Some niggas want me that. My mother want me that some niggas ain't my best friends to trust.
I ain't got time.
Oh yeah, I ain't got time for the niggas.
Yeah.
Yeah, banger. Oh, so I feel like this album was definitely kind of his experimentation into more like melodic kind of music. You know, making shit that he's really interested in rather than shit that people would gravitate towards.
Yeah.
Um,
Definitely.
I feel like a lot of people after.
Sorry if I seem very staring off into space. I'm watching Jalen play games on.
I was about to say I knew there was gonna be a
video
problem,
behind him.
but it's kind of like the whatchamacallit video, Subway Surfer videos where it's like halfway Subway Surfer and it's like somebody telling a story about,
You know what you should do in the edit?
huh?
You should just like zoom into my face slowly and then put like the ears ringing sound while I'm just watching this.
I figured it was gonna be a problem, but anyways, here we are. So I feel like after Cherry Bomb and what was before Flower Boy? Was it Cherry Bomb?
Let me look.
Damn. I know we've had a couple Tyler albums on here before. If you couldn't tell, I'm a fucking Tyler the Creator fan.
I think it was Cherry Bomb instrumentals, Wolf, Goblin, Wolf, Cherry Bomb, and then Flower Boy.
But yeah, I feel like Cherry Bomb is definitely a very aggressive kind of, in your face, very much, I'm 19, woo woo, fucking.
How old was he when he started?
He was like 17 or something, like when he first started Odd Future, and then I want to say Flower Boy he was like 24 or something.
How old was he when he
2019?
released his first, or when he released?
I don't know. I think it was Odd Future mix that they released first. I guess we could just Google
Well,
it.
personally, like when he released Goblin, how old was he when he released that?
Oh, Jesus Christ, I can't even spell. When he released Goblin. Jesus Christ. He was 19 in 2011. So do the math. So it was a fucking 2011, 19 plus 8. He was 27 when Flower Boy came out. Which is wild to think,
He doesn't even seem like he's that old.
I say
He seems like he's like early 20s, maybe mid 20s.
he's in his 30s right now. I know that, but yeah,
Crazy.
he definitely doesn't seem that old. I feel like he's been in the public eye for a long time too, which is kind of rare to see nowadays. A lot of people that came up in his time are kind of, well, I feel like a lot of people that came up before then and barely into the time Tyler really got popular.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of them too much these days.
Like, what the fuck happened to Jaden Smith?
I couldn't even tell you. I don't really pay attention to him.
He just fell off the face of the earth after fucking Karate Kid.
Or Joji,
Joji.
the
The guy that was originally like the
pink suit guy.
yeah.
Yeah,
He was originally a YouTuber and then became a musician.
yeah. He kind of like popped around the time Tyler did, and he's just fucking. I don't know what he's doing nowadays, but
I think he's still making music.
I wouldn't doubt it honestly. He's a cool guy, but it's definitely very interesting to go through the catalog of somebody that's at the top of the billboards nowadays. Week after week.
Fucking Sam Smith. I don't know what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell
The
you.
only thing I remember Sam Smith recently is when he was at like one of the award shows and he was like dressed in a fucking goddamn Dorito outfit.
A Dorito.
Like it was a skin tight like a leather suit, but it had like some fucking cutouts that were like it was like a triangle. It's really fucking weird.
What the fuck? All right, well, checking on bro if you know. What was I gonna say? Damn it, I don't remember. What was he talking about?
This is the only thing I remember of him so far.
Oh yes, I remember. Like when he had that fucking looked like a fucking Oompa Loompa or whatever.
Yeah.
Wild times.
That's the only thing I remember from Sam Smith recently. I don't really pay attention to him, so.
I don't blame you at all. But back to Flower Boy. I picked this album because I was recently showing Kyle Baston the Tyler the Creator's Tiny Desk performance. You ever watch Tiny Desk? The NPR.
Not like all the time, but I have seen it every now and again.
Oh, so his Tiny Desk is like super theatrical. He brought in like a bunch of different lights and shit.
Yeah.
And it's him on the keyboard, and he's got a couple of female backup singers and like a little 4-piece band behind him. Super fucking cool little, real low key performance. It's honestly one of my favorite Tiny Desks. But I was listening to it the other day, and I was like, damn, he did the Tiny Desk around the time Flower Boy was coming out, and I was like, damn, the renditions of this album in this performance are so good. And so I was like, went back to listen to the whole album, and I was like, damn, this whole album is fucking good. You ever notice that Tyler the Creator always brings one person along with him on his album? Like, that goes like throughout the whole album, damn near. The past few albums that he's made. Like
Never
in
really
Flower-
noticed that.
In Flower Boy, Rex Orange County is in like 4 songs. And Call Me If You Get Lost, him and DJ Drama did like the whole album together. In Chromacopia, him and Daniel Caesar did a lot of the songs together. It's interesting to see the other artists that he surrounds himself with,
Yeah. Man, I've never really like noticed any of that.
I just kind of put 2 and 2 together. I was listening to Flower Boy, and I was like, damn, Rex Orange County is in a lot of these fucking songs, just doing like backup vocals and shit. And I was, that's really how I found Rex Orange County, and I was like, well, shit, he's cool.
That's how you find a lot of your favorite artists on Tyler's albums.
He has a really good fucking knack for picking artists that are like really about music and like are like really into the music that they make, and I don't know. He does a lot of research about UK artists and Australian artists and fucking female artists. Like not a lot of female artists get super big because I feel like they kind of make very similar music. So when you find somebody that's like like Dochi when the one line when she's got in balloons where she's like, "I'll air this bitch out like a queef. I send your bitch ass to the street, spray this whole block with a fur." I was like, "What the fuck? How you think I'll spray this whole I'll spray your bitch ass like a queef? What? How the fuck did you come up with that, dog? That's fucking ridiculous." But he just finds like those fucking inventive kind of people and puts them on their album. I feel like he's really good at finding new talent. If he had a label, I feel like that'd be really interesting to see what kind of people he signs to it. You know,
What do you think the label name would be?
probably golf records or something.
The fuck is his obsession with golf wang and golf and
He literally okay. So
fucking
the whole
golf
reason he
and-
chose golf is because he liked how the letters looked on in text.
like golf wang?
That's the whole reason. He just
What
he
is-
liked the way those two words looked in text. So
What is
golf
wang?
whatever you want it to be. But yeah,
More you know.
the more you know.
I don't think I've ever like looked at a word and been like, that looks good in text.
Yeah, that's how you know you're not a graphic designer. I do that shit all the time. The amount of times I spend on fucking thumbnails is ridiculous, and then like a week later, I'm like, that shit looks fucking terrible. Like the thumbnail for the Apex video is absolutely trash. I did it 2 weeks ago, and I was like, well, I don't really know what else to do, so here we are. But I'm a nerd for like fonts and shit like that.
I mean, I like fonts. Like I'll look at a bunch of different fonts. Like I'll literally sit there and go through
Canva.
no. Fuck is it?
I don't know what is it.
Adobe Premiere Pro.
Oh yeah,
I'll go through that and they have like a font section for
yeah.
like titles and shit. And I'll just go through and look at fonts and be like, but
You know, I feel like it's definitely you definitely have to have an eye for that kind of stuff.
Like-
Composition.
the one thing I hate about Adobe Premiere is that I hate this about any company, is you pay for their shit, right?
Right.
And then they're like, all right, you got this, but then you like in Adobe, I'll go through fonts and it'll be like, oh, you can't use this font because you don't pay for premium.
Right. The
And I'm
fucking Premium Plus package.
like, what the fuck?
I'm like, dog, come on now. We really got to do this.
Shit is so annoying.
That's when you just use the internet. There's all sorts of free resources and shit. Like I recently found that background removal thing. Dog, saved my fucking life. For the first like 52 episodes of the podcast, I was sending the pictures from the laptop to an iPad that had an app that could remove backgrounds and then sending it back, and sometimes the file would still be fucked and it'd just be a white background now. And it was a whole fucking process. But now found that thing online, just fucking upload the image. Boom. Clear background.
Like, if I pay for a product, just give me the fucking product.
That'd be nice.
But no.
Everything's gonna be a fucking subscription now.
Well, yeah, but like with subscription or everything's got to be like a fucking pay to play or
Type
pay
shit.
to win type shit. It's like, bruh, like I shouldn't have to spend $500 to get some shit that I could pay $20 for if you just give it to me when I bought the fucking thing.
Right. If only it was that easy. All right, well, enough about bitch ass companies. Let's hop into the films of the week. So, tell the people what made you pick 3 films of the week.
So it's a trilogy. they're all they're. I wouldn't say that. I mean, they're all connected in some way, but they're not the same story.
Right.
But these three films are short films by Wes Anderson. Roald Dahl wrote them, and or Roald Dahl wrote them, and then Wes Anderson took what he wrote and turned it into a short film. And So, Poison is about a guy who is laying in a bed in like Australia or some shit.
Right.
Where he's like in his house, laying in his bed in Australia, and he thinks that he has a snake on him that's poisonous. Come to find out that there is no snake. The rat catcher is about this guy who's a rat catcher,
It's fucking crazy.
and he's obsessed with rats, and he like shows these two guys that he's like why rats are so cool and shit like that, and like how he can trap the rats and like kill them and stuff, and basically that's the whole story. And then the Swan is about two kids who come up on a kid and they bully him into dying.
Damn.
But what made me choose these is because they're all connected to another short film. I don't remember what it's called. Hold up, I'll look it up real quick.
Was it the one you chose for film of the week a while ago?
Yeah,
I would say is the Benedict Cumberbatch
I'll look it up.
the Tales of something about Todd or something, I think. The Tale of Sweeney Todd. Bum, 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 bum. No, it wasn't.
The
that.
Wonderful History of Henry Sugar.
Yeah.
They're all connected to that film, which is also another short film. But yeah, I chose them because of that, but also Wes Anderson is just an amazing director. His fucking style is amazing.
I must say with the Wes Anderson, one thing I picked up was it's almost like watching a book,
Yeah.
which I feel like could be very helpful for somebody that's blind. I feel like they could very much enjoy Wes Anderson.
Who's blind?
Yeah, like they're fucking listening to the movie type shit. How like everything in the movie is like, I walked into the observatory and I said, would you
now
like some sugar? And that's it.
Now I get what you're saying.
So like if they're blind, they can't fucking see, and I just picture
Yeah.
what the scenario looks like. Well, what the scenario, I don't want to say looks because blind,
I get what you're saying.
Anyways, my knees are on fire today.
His precision to detail is very unique. You don't really see that often in films.
Yeah, it is very. One thing I noticed in Poison was the whole film is seemingly shot on tracks. And then the one scene where it like gets really heated and everybody's like yelling at each other is more hand cam.
It all three of these are like stage plays.
Right.
Like in the film, he'll move like they'll move sets
Right.
in different ways, like it's like they would on stage. It's pretty interesting to watch.
It is very, you got to be very coordinated. I feel like there's a lot of moving parts within something like that.
I would have to say my favorite out of the three is probably Swan.
Interesting, because I really didn't understand the Swan. I was like, okay, so they're beating his ass, and then they put the wings on him. He's on the branch. He flies, and then he dies. Okay,
Well, the kid's like obsessed with the birds, and the others are hunting birds. He's like trying to save the bird, but then they're like, no.
And then he becomes the bird, and then fucking dies.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, that wasn't like violently depressing or anything.
Well, I feel like it was a lot more action than the other two. Like there was a
Really?
lot more moving parts. There was a lot more like walking around, whereas the other two were just stationary in one area.
I love the rat catcher one. I thought
I
that
mean,
one
I
was.
like them. I like them all, but my favorite would have to be this one,
I
just
thought the rat
because.
catcher one was the most interesting one, honestly. I feel like they did a really good job of describing the rat guy character, the rat catcher himself.
Yeah,
I feel like if going back to the blind thing, if you were blind, you could like really get a really good mental picture of like who this person was just based on the description that they gave.
I would love to like. Well, I would love to work with Wes Anderson, but I'd also love to like have my little own set of Wes Anderson where I could just like have everything just a fucking and it's where my OCD could just sit there and be like, "This is nice."
Fair enough. Felt that. That's me just watching Wes Anderson
And
movies. I'm like,
I don't
okay,
know.
so symmetry,
Yeah,
saturation,
I
warm
don't know
colors.
what he does for saturation, but I fucking love it. Like it doesn't like it's not very saturated. It's more like mute.
I must say,
Like all the colors aren't like popping out at you. They're all just like
they're very. I feel like it's a little bit of saturation, a little bit of taking the contrast out, but keeping the vibrancy up. If that makes sense. Because like they're very flat colors, but
what's that you?
no, it wa-
Sam farted.
you doing toots in there?
all I heard,
Sam in
all
there
I
fucking
heard was
laughing.
and I went, "Was that
I
you?"
thought it was you. I was gonna let it go. Sam in there fucking shitting their pants. Goddamn. No, they're not. I'm just playing. Uh, but anyways, back to the short films. But I don't. I must say, I've tried to figure that out. Tyler the Creator also uses some kind of saturation LUTs or something in
Yeah.
his music videos that I just fucking love. I don't. I've tried to figure it out. I got it like a little bit with Spiff Diff and Kush, but it wasn't like. I feel like the
His
colors.
is like very saturated. His stuff, Tyler's stuff.
Yeah, I feel like the colors of Mom's House lent to that very well, but like all the colors in the other scenes didn't really mesh with that because we had like the
Yeah.
white walls in the party scene,
Yeah.
and then everything else was like super dark, so you can't really do much there with contrast. You got to kind of work with what you got, but in the end, it all came out
But I don't
pretty
know.
decent.
I don't know what Wes Anderson does with his saturation or his coloring, but I fucking love it.
I
Like
agree
all
with you.
muted and very like old school looking.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is, but I love it. Probably one of my favorite coloring. I wouldn't really say techniques because I don't color, but
but
technique.
it works.
Um,
You got anything else on the
Yeah.
films?
if you don't know who Wes Anderson is, check his stuff out. Pretty fucking
Excuse
amazing.
me. I agree with you there.
One of my favorite movies of all time that Wes Anderson has made is Mr. Fantastic Fox, which is
Banger.
one of the best movies, in my opinion, that he's probably ever made.
And it's stop motion, so that's just
Yeah.
one more technical feat that the movie accomplishes.
Well, I just love how in Fantastic Mr. Fox, like, the characters will be in the ground and he will literally cut the world in half. So you can
Yeah,
see
just
where
give
they
you
are.
that cross section so
Yeah.
you can see like into the whole thing is pretty cool.
So cool. But yeah, I don't think I've really ever seen that much other than like this and Fantastic Mr. Fox.
The Grand Budapest Hotel is pretty good too.
I've seen that actually. Yeah,
It's
that
got
one's
that
really good too.
Indian guy in it. I don't
Yeah.
know if he's Indian or not, but
That's a really good movie also. Didn't he make Dogs? Something dogs?
Reservoir Dogs?
No.
Reservation Dogs? No, that's
No.
a series.
It's either something dogs or dogs something. It was like an Asian film where the kid was Asian. And there's like a bunch of dogs.
Yeah, I want to know. I know exactly what you're talking
I don't
about, but I
remember what it's called.
can't remember what it's called.
Kyle's screaming at us.
Yeah, leave it in the comments below, Kyle. But yeah. Anyways,
That one, I haven't seen that one, but I want to watch it.
fire.
Um,
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you any other Wes
Same.
Anderson films, but
Pretty good shit.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
But, yeah, other than that, y'all should definitely check him out.
I'd agree with
really
you.
good.
All right. My knees are hurting, so let's get to TT's talk so I can stand the fuck up. Let me fix the audio.
Bro, I sent you so many.
I'm aware. I am aware. Okay.
Last night I was literally just scrolling and it had sent you a video.
All right, can you hear me on the TV?
Yeah.
Okay.
Me as fuck.
That's the Tism hand.
I won't catch myself doing that shit. Like, I'll be at work doing something and my hand will be like this, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing?
Just tizzing out.
Anybody remember the struggling process to figure out whether you had a snow day or not? Because what I just found out, schools nowadays just send a text message. Done deal, school's closed. What did we do? I'll tell you what we did. We still got up. We got ready like assholes because you didn't know if you're going to get a 2-hour delay. A delay doesn't matter. You went down the stairs, you poured yourself a bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. You just watched the news. You watched the bottom like it was ESPN, the scores. The ticker just... They're on the J's. They're on the J's. By the way, this was the only time all of us just forgot how the alphabet worked. We're M.
So true.
They're on L's. Is that after L? Is it LMNOP? God forbid if your school started with a W or Z, you're already on your second bowl of CTC. You're just sitting there talking shit about nearby schools. If they're close.
Or when you turn the fucking TV on and your school starts with an N, and then you're like, you turn the TV on and they're on M. I'm like, motherfucker. You know, like P or something. I'm like, damn. I gotta wait a whole another fucking 15 minutes just to see if
Right?
school's
There's no
closed.
way. And you saw your school 2 hours. How we have a 2-hour delay? Your mom would always be like, well, at least you get to go in like, hey, Diane, zip it. We're out of milk, too, by the way, so.
Tank?
Yeah, I don't know if it blows up or not.
That's crazy. I fill these for a living.
This is my favorite.
Okay, so you open up the lid, right?
Yeah,
And that's where you attach the nozzle to. See that right there? That's actually the pressure relief valve.
cool.
Now, tanks of this size actually need to be set up at least 10 feet from the house or more.
Uh-huh,
So this tank is not set up to code.
uh-huh.
Those are 20-pound tanks. Normally, you see them being used for
We
barbecue
found
grills and
bro's
whatnot.
I didn't expect to have
autistic
an
special
online
interest.
class right now.
Me neither.
It's not even hooked up to anything. It's just sitting there. Why is there even a 500-gallon tank out here? He doesn't even have any appliances in the shed to hook it up to.
The
Are
ending
you
is
enjoying
so
living
funny.
your work life in a video game?
Let's review these few key points that will aid in the safety.
Nick, get out of here! Oh, would you care to explain to me how these work, Nick?
No, that's an oil tank. I'm not interested. Where's all the propane tanks?
They saw your video, they removed them.
Look, I found one.
Ooh.
And did you know that propane actually expands by 270 times? What are you doing? That's not safe.
I'm sorry. This was a mistake.
What's your plan, Nick?
The same thing I do every game. Inspections.
You're a man on a mission.
Look, come here. Look at this.
I'm
The same thing I do every game. Inspections.
When you read the NFL water boy makes $3,312 a week.
Hello, my name is Adrian. I'm here to apply for the water boy position. And I noticed you guys were on the field. They were swearing very profusely, Mr. Jones. And I just thought that you guys, could use a very experienced water boy such as myself, Mr. Jones. Thank you for your time, Mr. Jones.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Jones.
This reminds me of fucking Shane Gillis.
What the fuck? Alright, last melon. Here we go.
No mames, güey, está bien chulo esa madre. ¡A su puta madre! ¡Trae turbo, perro! ¡Trae turbo! Brrr, pa.
That shit had me fucking dead. All right, I want to say thank you one more time for watching the Two Tone Podcast. Check out Spiff, Diff, and Kush, and Back to the Basics wherever you find music. This has been the Two Tone Podcast. God damn it, I forgot to make it so we can hear it.